Spending money on shiny new stuff is the name of the game in GTA Online, but what if I told you that not everything in this game is worth purchasing? Because while GTA money may be fake, the time you spend earning all those dollars is definitely real. So if you're not a billionaire already with a practically limitless capacity for spending, you can't afford to be going around throwing money on frivolous purchases like a super yacht or Luxor Deluxe. Sure, they're fun for a little while, but ultimately the money that you get out of them is a lot less than what you put in, and even in terms of gameplay value, they aren't all that good compared to the best vehicles and businesses in the game. So in today's video, I'll take a look at the top 10 worst purchases that you can make in GTA Online for 2026. Most of these items are either huge money sinks or expensive upgrades that provide minimal improvement in value over the base purchase. And we're gonna kick things off with a rather spicy pick here today, which is the Kosatka. Now, hold on, I know what you're thinking. Before you pull out all your pitchforks and crucify me here, trust me, I wouldn't dare put the Kosatka submarine itself at anything below S tier on a ranking list for money because it unlocks the Cayo Perico heist, which is the most lucrative heist for making $1 million in well under an hour, even to this day after all the nerfs it's received. But if we remove Cayo from the equation, and this is a big one here, the Kosatka itself is kind of underwhelming. I mean, you could use the default dinghy that they give you to ferry yourself to and from the shore at 5 miles an hour while trying not to fall asleep. And then once you're on the shore, you could also call in your car while praying to God it doesn't spawn 5 blocks away from you because of Rockstar's spaghetti code. Or you could save yourself the headache and spend the extra $1.8 million on a Sparrow helicopter, which is the best upgrade that you can buy for your giant guided missile submarine. Seriously, there are only two kinds of Cayo players out there: those who use the Sparrow for all their prep work and those who are doing it the wrong way, because not even the Oppressor Mark II is as efficient as the Sparrow when it comes to grinding equipment and vehicle prep missions for the Cayo Perico heist. Besides, if you don't get the Sparrow, what else are you going to spend all that Cayo money on? We know it's not going to be a Kraken Visa sub because that thing just sucks. You could use it to search for underwater caches, but that's about all it's good for. Otherwise, it's incredibly slow, turns like a fish tank made out of lead, and at $1.5 million, it's insanely overpriced as well. Let's also compare the Kosatka to the Agency, for example. Both unlock huge money-making opportunities in the form of the Cayo Perico heist and the Dr. Dre contract, respectively. Remove Cayo from the Kosatka, and you're left with just a mandatory purchase so that you can get your Sparrow helicopter. Remove the Dr. Dre contract from the Agency, and sure, you miss out on a $1.1 million competitor to Cayo, but you still have a wall safe for passive income daily, security contracts to make money, payphone hits, an armory for immediate armor purchases when logging in, free snacks, fast travel, free helicopter services, and access to Imani tech in the vehicle workshop and garage. Cayo makes the Kosatka worth buying, but if you didn't need to buy it to gain access to the heist or the Sparrow helicopter, I don't think anyone would really care about the submarine itself. So to summarize, definitely get the Kosatka. Nowhere did I say not to, but absolutely don't forget to pair it with a Sparrow, otherwise you're seriously missing out, whether you're grinding the Cayo Perico heist or not. Next, we've got another awful purchase that nobody in their right mind should make, and it's the Acid Lab version of the Brigade 6x6. This big boy costs a whopping $1.4 million on Warstock Cash and Carry, and if you buy it directly without doing any of the Los Santos Drug War story missions, all you'll have is a nice armored truck that goes fast and can tank up to 48 RPGs and homing missiles, but that's about it. Actually, scratch that. It can tank up to 48 RPGs, but only after you install the armor upgrade at the Freak Shop, which you probably don't have because you haven't done the dang first dose missions. And if you did do all 6 of them, you know that you can actually get this awesome $1.4 million military truck completely free of charge because you literally steal one off of a Merryweather supply train and drive it straight back to the Freak Shop. So there's really no point in buying one unless you just like to waste money. Oh, and did I mention that the Freak Shop also doubles as a free safe house, and it even comes with its own Mark II weapons workshop built in? Plus, it allows you to install the Acid Lab equipment in your Brigade 6x6, without which it's just a big empty paperweight. And then, if you also do 10 Fooligan jobs for Dax, you can earn an extra $500,000, plus you're now eligible for the Acid Lab equipment upgrade, without which grinding this business is a massive waste of time. I talk about all of this in my detailed Acid Lab guide, so go ahead and watch that after this video if you want to know more about how much money the Acid Lab can make. It's a lot, by the way. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you like my content and if you want more in-depth guides like these. All right, time for awful purchase number 3. And this one's an MC business that I have righteously excoriated in the past for being a massive waste of time and money. And things still have not changed after the Mansions update, because the document forgery office is still a giant piece of crap and the worst moneymaker in the game by far. Just how bad is it, you ask? Well, let's put it this way. Even if you activate that absolutely busted mansion production boost, it still can't keep up with an unboosted Coca-Cola lockup. That's because garbage in gives you garbage out, and putting the mansion speed boost on a document forgery office is like putting lipstick on a pig. It just doesn't work. By the way, if you're still new to the whole MC business thing, first off, go watch my MC business guide. But if you want a quick answer, just buy these 3 businesses first: the Counterfeit Cash Factory, the Coca-Cola Lockup, and the Math Lab. Then link all 3 of these to your Nightclub warehouse and watch the money roll in. And if you're the unfortunate owner of a document forgery office already, at least take solace in the fact that whenever Rockstar makes a vehicle claimable in the salvage yard robberies, you only have to pay $10,000 instead of the usual 20 grand. Hooray. And number 4, we've got the Paragon R. For just $905,000, it might seem like you're getting yourself an excellent deal, since this is a luxurious GT car with an extremely fast lap time. But what if I told you that you can get a better version of the Paragon R for free, making the base model entirely obsolete? So here's how it works. If you have a penthouse in the Diamond Casino, you can get the exclusive armored Paragon R by completing all 6 Agatha Baker story missions. At the end, you'll find your reward waiting for you at the port of Los Santos. Understand that this is the only way to unlock the armored Paragon R in-game. You can't purchase it on any website. And to make the deal even sweeter, you'll also receive approximately $1.1 million as a first-time payout for completing all of the Agatha Baker missions in the correct order. If you also add in the immense value of having an armored car that's faster than most other sports cars in the game, that $1.5 million purchase fee that you pay for a casino begins to feel a lot like a worthwhile investment. However, unless you plan on doing the Agatha Baker missions and unlocking the Paragon R, it's not worth purchasing a casino penthouse if you're just going to use it like any other apartment, because then you'll just be wasting millions of dollars. Sure, owning a penthouse means you can spawn in right away every day and spin that wheel, which is a plus. It also makes the Cayo Perico safe key prep mission a bit easier, but I don't think it's worth purchasing a multi-million-dollar property just for the random chance of doing one Cayo mission slightly faster, especially when it's chance-based and you don't know if you'll get the glass display case or the safe as your primary target. And now for another controversial pick: mansions. Yep, you heard that right. Now let me explain why these aren't ideal for folks who don't already own every single core business and a few weaponized vehicles in their garage. See, the mansions are expensive. They're more expensive than a fully kitted out Aquarius super yacht. In fact, the most expensive one you can buy is the Richmond Villa, and it's worth almost as much as a Luxor Deluxe plus super yacht combined. And what do you get in return for all that cash? Well, you get a nice view of Los Santos. You also get this helipad, this spa, this here indoor gym, a few pets to play with, a nice interior, and lots of little doodads that you can fiddle around with. But that's not exactly valuable in terms of gameplay, is it? I guess you can immerse yourself in the atmosphere for about 20 minutes and really cosplay as a mafia lord before you realize it's all smoke and mirrors. But then you see this, the master control terminal in your office, and it lets you resupply every single business in your collection. It also lets you swap out DJs at your nightclub, and you can even buy upgrades for your business right here on this computer. And then we have the single most overpowered money-making buff in the entire game, which is the Mansion Production Speed Boost. What this does is put any single business of your choosing on this list on a steroids program for the day. 24 hours of non-stop production speed boost, increasing the rate at which your business pumps out products by 200%. So anything that normally takes 3 hours will now only take 1. None of this really matters if you don't have an acid lab, a bunker, or MC businesses. If you don't own any businesses, your mansion's master control terminal is also worthless. That's why I recommend against buying a mansion if you're still a low-level player with, say, maybe $10 million in the bank account. Put that money into a terabyte plus a Presser Mark II combo instead. Once you have everything in the game, the mansion is great, but it's a long road to get there. Another thing you shouldn't waste your money on is a small special cargo warehouse. I talk about this in my CEO warehouse guide, but the game has an internal crate value multiplier where it goes up based on the more crates that you sell at the same time. So for example, if you're only selling 16 crates, which is the maximum amount that a small warehouse can hold, you get paid $15,000 per crate. However, if you sell 111 crates, which is what a large warehouse can hold at capacity, you instead get $20,000 per crate. That's an extra 33% for every single crate. And yes, you also have to deal with longer sell missions, but it's still worth it just from a cost versus time perspective. And I get that nobody likes to source crates anymore. It's really boring, but these days, the only time I set foot in my warehouse is when I want to pay my staff to source crates for me. Then I either wait for my warehouse to fill up or until the warehouse goes on 2x bonus, and that's when I sell all 5 to make tens of millions of dollars in a single gameplay session. And now it's even easier because you can literally teleport into your warehouse from your mansion, so you can just lobby hop into each individual warehouse and restock with the press of a button. And if you still don't like crate grinding, fine. But if you are going to crate grind, do it right. Get a large warehouse. 2 large is still better than 5 small warehouses. Pick number 7 is going to be the Master Control Terminal in your arcade itself. When it came out, this thing was revolutionary as a quality of life upgrade, but now it plays second and third fiddle to the far superior Master Control terminals in your Terabyte as well as your mansion. So unless you like spending money on outdated tech, skip this. If you can't afford a mansion just yet, like I said earlier, get yourself a Terabyte instead and upgrade it at the garment factory for a Master Control terminal that can drive around the map with you. The Nightclub is also a bad purchase if you don't own a motorcycle clubhouse, along with a few other businesses like the bunker, hangar, and CEO special cargo warehouse. Is the $50,000 every 48 minutes nice? You bet it is, but without the warehouse to back it up, I think it falls short of the other top tier passive moneymakers in the game, and if you buy the Nightclub without any supporting businesses, it will take you forever to get your initial investment back. Just to show how big of a difference it makes, if you have your techs assigned to CEO Cargo, Coca-Cola, Math, Cash, and the bunker, your Nightclub earnings literally double, going from $50,000 every in-game day to $100K. So ultimately, while the Nightclub isn't a bad business by itself, not nearly the case, it can be a bad purchase early on if you don't already own a bunch of MC businesses, a bunker, and some warehouses so you can assign all 5 of those techs to the best slots for maximum money. Next, let's talk about police cars. Rockstar started rolling these out after the Cluck and Bell update in March of 2024, with the Bravado Gauntlet Interceptor being one of the first 3 player purchasable cop cars. It is also one of the only 3 cop cars worth buying, with the other 2 being probably the Dominator FX Interceptor and the Coquette D10 Pursuit. Personally, I also love the Cara as well. That's an awesome one. But if you want a muscle car, get the Gauntlet Interceptor. If you're more into handling, get the Coquette D10, which is the second most expensive car in the game behind the Deluxo. Every other cop car isn't really worth your time or your money, and they are a waste of money in general, unless you like role-playing as a cop and doing the Vincent Effenberger dispatch missions. These cars are just repainted versions of the regular models with mild performance tuning and some police lights on top. But you pay anywhere from 4 to 5 times the money for that LSPD badge and the cop car livery. And it doesn't look like things are going to change all that much with the upcoming STX Pursuit and Buffalo Cruiser, both of which are overpriced as usual, as you'd expect, and the STX Pursuit might actually be worse than the regular STX because apparently it won't support additional armor plating for explosive resistance. So you're going to pay $5.3 million for a police car that blows up to 1 rocket. And at number 10, the final item on my list isn't really any specific business. Instead, I want to bring up bad business locations in general. In most cases, any work you do will be in the central or downtown sections of Los Santos, so having businesses way up north in the wilderness or in Paleto Bay simply is not worth it, even if they are slightly cheaper than the other locations, because in the long run, the amount of time you'll waste running back and forth for any time you need to do a resupply or delivery is going to cost you more than if you had simply purchased the more expensive location from the get-go. Paleto Forest bunker owners, you know what I'm talking about here. And there you have it. Those are my top 10 worst purchases that you can make in GTA Online. I also have some honorable mentions in mind, like the regular unarmed version of the Titan and the bunker caddy, but let me know which items that I missed that you would have included in this list. I'm sure there are quite a few contenders, but I'm limited by how much content I can cram into one video without turning it into a 40-minute movie. Also, a lot of these are circumstantial, there's a lot of nuance to the game, and I feel like that's what makes some of these purchases bad. When things don't have a lot of nuance and they're just objectively good or bad, you can just see it from the get-go. I don't really need to mention them, right? As always, don't forget to like this video if you found the video helpful, and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new and you want to see more content just like this. Thank you so much for watching. Also check me out over on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, specifically twitch.tv/hazardoushdtv for more GTA Online money grinding live streams, and I will see you guys in the next GTA 5 Online video. Adios amigos.